Hey Wolfpack, welcome back to the channel. I really hope everyone's having a great day and you're just doing good all around. So right now I'm gonna need you to sit back, relax, buckle up because the train's leaving the station, and once again we have some crazy news to discuss today. So get this, Alex Jones, the founder of InfoWars, was just ordered by a court to pay out $965 million. That's just shy of $1 billion to the relatives of Sandy Hook victims. And for anyone who might not know, back in December of 2012, a mentally ill man named Adam Lanza entered a school in Sandy Hook, Connecticut, and he killed 20 kids and 6 adults. It's just unbelievable. Well, Alex Jones got the idea that the entire tragic event was just a hoax perpetrated by the US government as a catalyst for taking Americans' guns rights away. And he decided to spread that information around freely from his platform, which understandably made a lot of people pretty unhappy. Alright, let's be honest, they were really pissed. And rightly so. I mean, the one thing you don't do in the wake of such a tragic event is, claim that it wasn't real. Not without hard evidence and a clear path. But he went and built an entire company on the fundamental clout he got from his views on Sandy Hook. And it was only a matter of time before it caught up to him. Eventually, he did admit that he was wrong and apologize, but it was just too little too late. So let's read the story, and then we're going to talk about it. So it says here, the parents of Sandy Hook shooting victims broke down in tears today as a jury in Waterbury, Connecticut awarded hundreds of millions of dollars in damages for defamation, slander, and emotional distress against InfoWars founder Alex Jones, who claimed the massacre was a hoax. The dollar amounts, which closed in on $1 billion total, were different for each plaintiff and also included attorney's fees and other compensatory damages. Jones opted against appearing in court today. The jury's damages determination were only the latest against Jones, whose online show and media company regularly traffics in conspiracy theories, yet has drawn a substantial audience. Family members have described facing death threats and having the graves of their children defaced, triggered by Jones' contention that the 2012 Sandy Hook shooting massacre, in which 26 people were murdered, including 20 children, was a false flag operation. The damages amount was far higher than that of a Texas jury's determination in August, which slapped Jones with a $45.2 million in punitive damages. The latest $965 million damages figure may be reduced given the state's limits on punitive damages, but it is an indication of the gravity that jurors placed on Jones' actions and the impact it had on the mourning families. Okay, first of all, I want to go on the record and say that I don't know much about Alex Jones and what he's about. I mean, I got a pretty good idea from the research I did for the video, and the general consensus is that he's a supposed conspiracy theorist and he has no reservations, in speaking out about his views on governmental failures and the hypocrisy of government, what have you. However, in my research, I did read and listen to some of the stuff he said about the Sandy Hook tragedy, and I mean, I can definitely see why his punishment was so severe. I don't even know that it was so much his words that got him in trouble, but more the fallout, from the things he was saying. I mean, you have the victims' graves being defaced and family members getting death threats. I mean, that alone is enough to make anyone sick. That being said, I do have some fundamental problems with this situation as a whole. First, in our current society, too many people are just way too quick to throw around the conspiracy theorist label every time someone says something they don't agree with, or when someone lays out scenarios that might seem far-fetched or improbable, but before they do any research to check the validity of the proposed situation. Now, granted, in this specific case with Alex Jones and Sandy Hook, sure, the theory was pretty conspiratorial, but when you weigh in the historical data showing some of the dark and sinister things many governments around the world have done to their citizens, just in the name of control and power, it suddenly doesn't become too outrageous an idea. Alex Jones, his biggest mistake was, 1, his approach, and 2, the specific event he chose to hang his theories on. Believe me, I'm not defending the guy, he was wrong, but I just want to give a little food for thought, something for us to chew on while everyone else is grabbing their pitchforks and storming the castle. It's just better to think things through. I mean, I always find it's best that when you see these stories being blown up and you see the mob starting to form to, just for us to take a step back and analyze the situation without the emotional factor involved. Just to try and see the facts for what they are before jumping on bandwagons. You're just always better off that way. Oh, another issue that this situation brings to light is free speech. You have to ask yourself, what does free actually mean? A lot of people have varying definitions, especially when it comes to speech, but what makes your definition any more valid than the next guy's? How do you determine what's acceptable and what isn't? Again, it's just something to think about. I personally think it's dangerous territory for any court of law to be able to say that words are punishable. And of course, I'm not saying that words can't be dangerous or hurtful, but some of these insult suits we see in our courts, they just have a lot of gray area, and I think it needs to be addressed. Reason being, once you start on the path of punishing people for their words and forcing someone to pay out almost $1 billion for stuff they said, where does it stop? Would you be okay being dragged into court and sued simply because you called someone an idiot for cutting you off in traffic? It's not unreasonable to believe that this is where a path like this could lead in 10 or 20 years. Oh, and yeah, the irony of me being called a conspiracy theorist for saying that, not lost on me at all, trust me. The final thing I wanted to talk about, though, which kind of correlates to the story we're discussing, is just how far cancel culture has integrated itself into our society. Now, I don't think this thing with Alex Jones is people trying to cancel him. I mean, yeah, there are those who out there who embrace that agenda, but where you really see it is in the celebrations across social media and the mainstream outlets over this guy's life basically being ruined. Honestly, what is it about our modern culture that makes so many of us far too eager to get other people walking the plank, shove them off, and then celebrate while they drown? I'm not going to beat this point to a pulp. Anyone worth their salt understands the dangers and frustrations of cancel culture. I just think that, if we as a society could focus more on practicing some forgiveness, some humility, generosity, and kindness, and of course, some good old-fashioned self-control, rather than focusing on everything and everyone that offends us, and wasting time and energy trying to destroy these things and these people, the world, it'd just be so much a better place for all of us. Well, there I go. I'm up on my soapbox again. Seriously, though, what are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts and where you stand on all of it. As far as Alex Jones go, well, the guy's life is ruined. I hope at the end of the day he comes away learning some valuable lessons on how to treat people and just how powerful words can be. Well, there you have it, guys. Another video in the books. We covered quite a bit today, and I do appreciate you guys sticking around and supporting the channel. Please take a quick second and drop a like for the video, and while you're at it, subscribe to the channel. Every bit of support helps, and I appreciate each and every single one of you tremendously. I'll catch you next time, guys, gals, and Wolfpack pals. Peace.